to put the front fender back on the bike, so I'm going to show you firstly how to remove the wheel, then I'm going to show you how to fit the fender so it's nice and strong, because basically I've done a repaint on the fender itself, because over winter I got it just the grip sandblasted all the paint off basically. So I've done a respray. I'm going to put it back on the bike. I'm going to show you basically how to take the wheel off, how to put the fender on, how to put the wheel back on. That's all this video. Let's get on. Right, first of all, you've got an Allen bolt that needs undoing there, so you need an Allen key to fit the bolt. So effectively, you've got to crack that open, which by the looks of it is going to be, there we go. So just loosen that bolt, don't need to take it out, just loosen it up, job done. Right, tried it with a spanner, wasn't going to come undone, so I'm using a 19mm spanner set. This is actually a torque wrench, so hopefully, done. One. There we go. Hopefully. And that's loosened the wheel off. It's a self-tapping on the other side. So all you've got to do is pop that out. There are spacers. That's coming out rather easy. Pop that down. Keep the wheel with one hand. Slowly withdraw, trying to keep your spacers. Right, so there's only one spacer on this. Let's put that safely to one side and drop the wheel. On this side there's a spacer, on the other side is your speedo block, so that you can put out of the way safely. There we go. And then we keep hold of the spacer and it just slides out. There we go. So what I'm going to do is put the bolt back in the wheel. If you're going to send the wheel off, keep that spacer in place, job done. So we'll put the wheel out of the way. Right, make sure that they're all lined up. And that you've got your bolts to hand. What I'm using are Allen bolts. These are supposed to be marine grade Allen bolts, so they shouldn't rust. They're better than the ones that are on there anyway. So effectively I'm going to take two of the bolts and fit the fender. Right, so what I've done, make sure they're lined up as well as you can get. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in from the back, because the front of the fender is thinner than the back of the fender, so it's easier, and you can't slide it up because of the brake caliper. What I've done is, just to protect the paintwork, is I've put a little bit of gaffer tape down the side here, just so if it rubs, the paintwork's protected. But effectively, get your bolts, and what we're going to do is we're going to bolt one in there and one at the front here, and then that way the fender's in place, so we can deal with it as is. So, get your bolts to one side, and carefully move it through. As you can see, yep, get it through. And the reason I took the wheel off is it actually makes it a lot easier to get on. That's one in. Into the front. One. Right, last two. First two are in, so they're holding the fender in place. We've got this one on this side, just got to pop in, line up the bolt. That's in. And then on this side, there's a little bracket, and that's the brake hose. That needs to go in. So line up the holes, pop it in, and just tighten it up. We'll take our Allen key and go across. So basically do it in a cross style. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and just do it that way. And then we just do it. There are in the guides there are newton meters. But basically we just tighten it up until we're happy with it. It doesn't have to be too tight. Yes. One. 2, 3. And then basically that's it. It's on. So now we have to put the wheel back. Right. Because I've used Allen bolts, there's one thing I'm going to do, is I have some end caps that go into the Allen bolts, and I'll pop them in to stop crud getting into the Allen bolt, the Allen head itself. And then what I'll do is I'll put a dab of grease around it as well, just to make it easier to get out when it comes to getting them off. But that should do it. Right, now we've got to put the wheel back on. Easy enough, it's only a single disc, so we can get the disc on the right side. Just clean that up. I've pre-greased the, so we've got to put the spacer in. The spacer actually fits quite snugly in there, so it's not going to pop out by accident. So effectively, we've got to roll it in. Now as I'm on a stand, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the stand so that gives me more manoeuvrability with the wheel. Right, I've taken the speedo drive off its cable, mainly because I'm going to have to do that anyway for something I'm going to show you in a minute. Spacer's in there, I've got it higher, and normally what I do is I put the wheel in position and lower it, so I'm not trying to lift the wheel, the bike is lowering down onto the wheel. In this case I'm going to give it a go this way, so that's got to go in there, and you've got a groove at the top, a little noggin on your front forks, and basically you've got to line that up, and you've also got to line everything else up, which is going to be a nightmare because I'm doing it on my own. So as I say, I usually roll it in, so we'll try this way first. If it doesn't work, we'll try the other way. So we've got the brakes, and we've got the noggin. There's the brakes. So effectively we've got to lift it up and put the bar in. There's the noggin on the speedo. No, it's not going to work. Not going to work. I'm going to try a different way. Right. So what we're going to do is slide the wheel in, like so, and line it up to the place it wants to be. So effectively, you've got that there, you've got that noggin, you've got your spacer, which goes in there, and effectively, what I'm going to do is lower the bike onto the wheel. So line it all up, make sure it's not in the way. We've got the brake caliper at the right angle. And hopefully, by lower the bike. There we go. This makes things more controllable. There we go. So just give it a little wiggle to get into the brake caliper. Keep everything in position and then lower the bike. This is far more controllable, as you can see. It's actually lining up rather nicely. On this side, rather nicely. And the caliper is holding the wheel in position, so you've got so much control. There we go. One in. That one's lining up really nicely. This side is lined up. That side very, very, very near, so we can start putting the bar in. There we go. See, control. I can do one hand, hold it in position, and just raise or lower as I want to get it in. I've pre-greased this axle already. Oh, that is so close. So all I've got to do now, line up the other side.
Yeah, I think that's what Shirley was on about.
Yes, that's right.
Lower it ever so slightly. That's almost in position. That is very, very nearly in position. Give the bike. Right. Now while we've got that bar in position, I can raise the bike and lower the bike as I need to. What I'm doing, I'm raising the bike to free it up on the... There we go, that's what I wanted. So I can now... Oh, lunges come off. Okay. But now we've got it in position, we don't need to worry about that. So I reckon that's about right. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, that's a good sign. That means it's gone through there. And just tightening it up. Now that was so much easier than trying to lever the wheel in. We just roll the wheel in, line it up, drop the bike down onto the wheel. Now I've got a torque wrench and I've got it set to 59 Newton meters. So effectively, just crank it up. 59, that's not that tight. Get it the right way. We just crank it. What you don't want to do is push the bearings and the rubbers, anything like that. Just gently bringing it together to the right tightness. And then the island bolt keeps everything in place. Only one bolt to deal with, well, two bolts to deal with, one nut. Well, not even a nut. So there we go. Just one click. Right. I'm waiting for that click. Was that a click? Yes, it was. And we'll leave it at that. And then the Allen bolt actually does come to it, but I don't have a torque wrench for the Allen bolt. Allen key. Allen bolt. So we just give it a few turns and tighten it up. Just hope we use the right clip. That's it. There we go. Tighten that up. I think that's tight enough. That's it. You can't really over tighten with these things, but hey. So that's the wheel in. Not job done. That's the wheel in, that's the fender in. So you're doing alright. That's everything in place. I can take the tape out now. And I'll show you the last bit. Right, last bit is, as I've shown you, they've got this noggin here that's in place, and it's held in place by everything. It's that little nub. So effectively the speedo drive has to loop through this piece of plastic here. Careful, does it? we go. Goes into there. Tightens up. There we go. That's what we wanted. Tighten it up. Don't want to over tighten. There we go. So just nip it up and done. Job done. Right, what I like to do is just as I've nipped that up, finger tight, I've got a small pair of pliers, and I use a small pair of pliers on purpose and just give it a little bit of turn, about 1/8 of a turn, less than that, and that's on. Job done. Happy bunny. Goodbye, YouTube.